Well, now that we've spent some time looking at NBT.3a, which is reading and writing decimals to the thousandths place, let's go ahead and look at its sister standard, NBT.3b. And that is um, comparing two decimals to the thousandths place. And we've defined comparing in math class in the past. And when we talk about comparing, put a little star next to it. Remember that comparing means to look for similarities and differences. Right? We're going to look for similarities and differences in two numbers that are to the thousandths place. And we want to look at them based on a specific thing, and that's the meaning of the value in each place. So this has a 5 in the tens place. We want to compare it to this number that also has a 5 in the tens place. And to break this down a little more easily, I've created this diagram here. And remember, we use these bars often in class to represent. We use these bars often in class to represent 1/10 of a whole. And so this is 1/10 of a whole. And then we use this little square right here. Well, if this is 1/10, then this is going to be 1/100th because it takes 10 of them. And 10 times 10 is 100. And then if this is 1/100th, then this little tiny guy right here is actually going to be 1/1000th. And so if we look at it like this, we can actually create a picture or an illustration for what this 525 thousandths actually looks like to be able to compare. And then once we've done the comparison, the standard actually wants us to record our results, record our comparison using some specific symbols, the greater than, equal, and less than symbol. And I know in the past our teachers have probably taught us that, the alligator eats the big one, or the Pac-Man or something like that. And that's just a really bad way of memorizing things. Those are just tricks that we really don't need to use in math. We all learned when we were young that this is equal sign, and it means the same, that one side of the equal sign is the same as the other side. And we memorize that. And we want to memorize these other two symbols as well. This is the greater than symbol. Greater than. It means that one side of it, the left side, is greater than the right side. We always use it from left to right. This is, on the other side, this is the less than symbol. And it means less, that the left side of this, whatever's on the left side of this symbol, is less than what's on the right side of this symbol. And so we just want to memorize that it's greater than or less than. I think oftentimes when students get these confused, it's because they're trying to use some trick, and the trick doesn't work. We just need to memorize it, because this is greater than, this is less than. Okay, so let's evaluate this. Let me create an illustration for this one using my bars and my squares that I've got down below. So we need this is a 5 in the tenths place, a 5 in the tenths place. So this is only 1/10. So I'm going to need some more of these if I'm going to create an accurate illustration. So let me create some more. Okay, so this is 5, right? I got 5/10 here, and that's 5/10. Now let's do this side now over here. In the 10th spot on this side, it also has a 5, and that would look like this right here. That would look like creating 5 of these. Okay, well, we can look at this and say, well, these are the same. So I don't know which one's greater than or less than yet, or if they're equal to each other. So I need to keep going. So let's move on to the hundredths place right here, the hundredths place. And this one has a 2 in the hundredths place. So this is my hundredth them illustration. And if I need 2 of them to be able to show an illustration for this diagram. And there's 2 right there. Let's look at the other side. In the hundredths place, there's 5 here. Well, I need 5 of these guys then. So let me create 5 of these. And we can see now that in this illustration that one of these representations is actually bigger than the other one. This one has 5/10, this one has 5/10. This one only has 2 hundredths, and this is actually 5 hundredths. So I know that this number here is already represents more than this number over here. So I need to use the less than symbol, because we're always going from left to right. So I would say that this number, 525 thousandths, is less than 552 thousandths. So I need the less than symbol. And when we write this, oftentimes teachers will use this little box right here, or this little circle, I should say, so that you can put in the correct symbol. But that's really not what it's asking us to do. It's asking us to record our own results. So when we write our number sentence, we talked about number sentences a lot. When we write our number sentence, we're not going to use this circle. We're actually going to write our own number sentence. I'm going to do it in orange right here. We're going to write our own number sentence, and we're going to say that 525 thousandths is less than. I'm going to use the less than symbol. Less than 552 thousandths. Okay. Oops. I need a 552 thousandths. And I don't even need to look at the thousandths, because if I had 5 of these right here, it's still not going to make it bigger. It's still not going to make this illustration any bigger than having these 500ths here. Okay. So let's look at another one of these. Remember NBT.3b, compare decimals to the thousandths place. Let's go ahead and make an illustration for this. I have 147 thousandths, 142 thousandths. So let's go ahead in this place, or in this number, in the tens place, I have 1/10. This is representing to 1/10. And over here, I also have 1/10. So let's go ahead and just add that at the bottom. 1/10, 1/10. I don't need to create any more for my illustrations because I only need 1. Now in the hundredths place here, I have a 4. So I need 4 hundredths in this illustration over here. So let me go ahead and grab this hundredth and create a few more. Okay, so now I have 4 hundredths here. And I'm going to create the thousandths for this too. I need to have 7 thousandths. So let's go ahead and create 7 thousandths. There we go, I have 7 thousandths. So this is 1/10, 4 hundredths, and 7 thousandths. So let's do the other side. 1/10, 4 hundredths. Need to have 4 of these guys. And I need 2 thousandths. So I'm going to scoot this over so we can see him. And we'll create another one. Okay. Well, now using this illustration, I can see that this side, this illustration, which is this number, is actually bigger. It's greater than this illustration, which is this number. So I would use the greater than symbol in this situation. I would come and write 470 thousandths, pardon me, 147 thousandths is greater than 142 thousandths. And that would be my number sentence that I would write to solve that, or to show the result of my comparison, which is what the standard wants us to do. And when you practice this enough, and you think about it in your mind with the tenths and the hundredths and the thousandths enough, and you practice and you practice and you practice, which is the only way to get better at math, eventually you can start doing this in your head. And I think that some of us have maybe done comparisons in our head before, but we can look and say, okay, well, what's in the 10th spot on this number? It's a 6. What's in the tens here? It's also a 6. Can I tell which one's bigger yet? No, so far they're still the same. So I have to keep going, and I'm always evaluating from left to right, And I can look at this number in the 100th spot, it's a 5. Okay, let's look over here. In this spot, it's a 5. Well, can I tell which one's bigger? No, they're the same. And I can look at the thousandths place, and this has a 4, and this has a 7. Well, and I can evaluate that in my mind, and I can say, well, 4 is bigger than 7. So I know that 654 thousandths is less than 657 thousandths. So I would write my number sentence just like that. I would say that 654 thousandths is less than, this is my less than symbol, 657 thousandths. And that would be the record of my comparison. That would be the result of my comparison, would be this true number sentence. Okay? And so in a moment, you're going to have to answer a question, and I want you to use the greater than, equal to, or less than symbols to record your results of a comparison of a couple of numbers to the thousandths place. I'm going to insert a couple of questions at the end of this video, and I want you to answer them using those symbols. All right, and I want you to make sure you're typing in a complete number sentence, not just these symbols. Make sure you're typing in a complete number sentence into the answer box, please. All right. I look forward to discussing more of this with you in class, and we'll see you soon.